Does this scenario sound familiar to you? It's 6 p.m. You have a paper due that night at 11:59 p.m. and you haven't started yet. You work all evening and finish the paper at exactly 11:56 p.m. You are so relieved to be finished that you never want to look at that paper again. You click submit, turn it in, and never once revise or proofread the paper. If that rings a bell with you, believe me, you're not alone. However, revising, editing, and proofreading your papers is a vital step in the writing process. And it's something that you have to build in time to do. You can't finish a paper 15 minutes before it's due and expect to have time to review it. Take a look at this paragraph. Can you read it? What this says is that it's pretty easy for us to read these words even though they are all misspelled, as long as the first and last letter are in the right place. This demonstrates how easy it is for us to overlook mistakes in our own essays and papers because our brain thinks it sees what it wants to see instead of what's actually there. So why revise and proofread? Well, first of all, you revise and proofread to improve your final product. You revise and proofread to catch mistakes, to make sure you have met the assignment you were given, and to make sure your paper says what you want it to say. How do you begin to revise and proofread? Well, first, give yourself some time away from your finished product. At least 24 hours is ideal so that you come back to it with a fresh eye. No procrastinating. The sooner you start writing your paper, the more time you will have to revise it, and the better it will be. And know this, every single time you revise and proofread your draft, you will make it better. So what's the difference in revising and proofreading? Well, revising is making bigger changes, moving paragraphs around, adding and deleting sentences, changing your voice or changing your tense. Proofreading are smaller, more nitpicky changes, things that spell check might or might not catch, for instance. So here are some techniques for effective revision. First of all, review your assignment. Really look at what you were asked to write about and make sure that what you wrote meets the assignment. Next, ask yourself about the purpose. Why are you writing this essay, and does it meet the intended purpose of your assignment? Consider your audience. To whom are you writing, and does this essay have the right tone and feel for that audience? And be objective. Read with an objective eye. Consider moving paragraphs around, adding and deleting information. Some other tips to help you, as I said earlier, make sure you give yourself some time away from your essay before you begin proofing it. At least 24 hours is ideal. Consider reading out loud. When you read aloud, you will use several senses instead of just your vision. So you'll hear it, you'll say it, and you'll see it all at the same time. You want to make sure you have the basic ingredients that every essay needs. A title, an introduction, a thesis statement, and a conclusion. Make sure each paragraph has a topic sentence and enough supporting details, and really make sure that your essay is a total package that you are proud of. So here are some do's and don'ts for making a paper longer. If you find that your paper is a little bit too short, what can you do to increase the length? First of all, add details, examples, and more specific information. Concrete details are best. Can you recreate the sights and sounds and smells in your paper? Don't repeat yourself. Repeating yourself is never a good idea, and it really is not the right way to make your paper longer. And finally, don't increase the font size. Us teachers, we're kind of onto that, so don't bump up to a 16 or 18 point font just to meet the length requirement. Also, do add relevant quotes from outside sources to your paper, quotes or paraphrases that support your main ideas. If you have to make your paper shorter, delete anything that doesn't add to your overall message or purpose. Delete unnecessary dialogue. If you are recreating dialogue between two people, make sure that the dialogue always moves your point forward, that it's not just kind of in there as filler. Delete anything repetitive, and don't be afraid to delete your favorite sentence or paragraph because it just may no longer fit with the overall feel of your essay. Proofreading is really important. So revising is the bigger changes. Proofreading is the really small changes. When you proofread, you're looking for misspelled words, grammar mistakes, punctuation mistakes, capitalization mistakes. Read slowly and deliberately. Focus on every single word. As I said a minute ago, reading out loud will help you hear problems that your eyes might just skip over. When perfection really counts, consider reading your draft backwards. That can be kind of time consuming, but if you start at the end and work backwards, you're really more likely to focus on each word. And then as the semester moves along, keep a log or record of the common mistakes that I point out to you and really proofread for those specific mistakes. And one final thought about editing and proofreading. It's a quote from Donald M. Murray. When students complete a first draft, they consider the job of writing done, and their teachers too often agree. When professional writers complete a first draft, they usually feel that they are at the start of the writing process. When a draft is completed, the job of writing can begin.